Welcome to my channel. My name is Valeria Tsoy. I'm a former Olympic athlete and a researcher of athletic and coaches behavior. Here you're going to find a lot of the tips and explanations of athletic behavior, of tactics, of strategy, of mitigation of stress, how to absorb stress, how to drive a certain performance, how to stay composed during high pressure times, especially during the competition, but what leads to a certain behavior in sports. I look into both sides of the aspect from human performance, which essentially at first happens in our minds and then happens in our bodies. I look into the habits, whether they're performance habits, dietary habits, or the automatic behaviors that we exhibit in certain situations. I also dive into the coaching tactics of different sports, whether it's team sport or individual sport, summer, winter. I've always been interested in human behavior from different angles of it, how we behave in the decision making in business and whether it correlates the way we would behave in the competitive environment in professional sports or non-professional sports. I am essentially sharing my own experience as an athlete, as a coach, from the perspective of different disciplines, whether it's sports psychology, neurobiology, and other tactics that have been employed by myself personally in high performance sport, and what I found when I was trying to aid myself in my high performance. A quick note that every Olympian is different, and each one of us has our own story. My own story stems from me coming from Kazakhstan and building up a sport pretty much for myself in a country where snowboarding was barely even a sport that people engaged in on a voluntary basis. I was the first athlete to represent Kazakhstan in Winter Olympics in snowboarding. I was racing and my discipline was high speed. So when I started the sport, it was me and my dad. We were the team. We didn't have the resources or the experience of anybody around us. Her first how to build a sport and then how to maintain it and propel it to the level of Olympics. A lot of our achievements had to be through trial and error and personal research. I speak multiple languages, Russian, German, English, a bit Italian and French, but the first three were my major language resources where I went through thousands and thousands of pages of printed literature. The old way, actually, going to a library or finding an old book in the archives and learning from the PhDs, scientists, and trying to figure out a way how I could help myself compete in the environment where a lot of the athletes had a whole team behind them that designed their training program, designed their schedules, their dietary supplements, their medication. And I didn't have any of that. So I had to step up my game and research all of that and keep it at the level of highest standard to be able to implement that in my own career. So in this channel, I'm sharing everything that I've learned and everything that I've tested myself personally, from health to mental to high performance to strategy and tactics. All of that you're going to find in the channel. And feel free to comment and ask questions because that will allow me to tailor my delivery to you in the way that it's more digestible, that it's more interesting, because we're creating a communication, we're creating a conversation here. I'm not just talking at the camera into some space. I'm talking to you and I want to create that connection, that communication, so that we both are able to be on the same page. So feel free to comment, to ask. We'll see how it goes. Thanks so much.